Hi, how are you this week?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to get in and talk more about your job transition and where you're at this week.
Yeah. Well, it's been an interesting uh, week. Not only like with clients, but like mentally and uh, balancing, which is kind of a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
uh, but it's it's hard.
It is. It is. Work, school, and the emotions that you have on it. That's a lot.
Yeah. It definitely is something that I'm trying to balance a little bit in terms of, um, you know, um, being there for my family and, giving the best I have to like my clients and putting things in and, trying to
Yeah.
finish school and do all that, which is just, uh, it's a little stressful. Um, and yeah, sometimes I'm like wondering if I made the right decision. And I keep playing that back over and over again and um, kind of having that internal dialogue about it's okay, it'll get better, like it's just a short period of time.
Mhm.
And I did make the switch for personal reasons. Well, I shouldn't say personal, but professional reasons. um, but it's not the easiest, I guess. And
Mhm.
there's still that underlying level of guilt and um, wondering if I really did the right thing, you know?
Yeah, when we were talking last week, you had talked about how, you had changed positions because you were feeling some stress and you felt that maybe this new position change had just placed the stress in a different area of your life. But you had identified that while that is so stressful, it was kind of pick your poison and you would rather have this type of poison.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, so
absolutely.
have you thought more about what coping with these new stresses would look like for you?
A little bit. Um, I will say that I've been trying to do a little bit more like self-talk,
Mhm.
trying to stay positive and having a little bit more clear and set boundaries in terms of um, my own mental health and well-being and like being able to be like, you know what, I need a timeout. Like I need to like focus and recollect myself a little bit, which is good, not only at work but also at home. So it's been a good reflection and seeing that it's possible to do. Um, it's possible. We'll leave
So
it at
I'm
that.
hearing you want to work on prioritizing Zach more.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because like not, I mean, we I want to say like us clinicians, like we know the skill set that we have to do like for our clients, but like we're not always the easiest ones to do them for ourselves. So
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yes.
realizing that and like um, putting that into play and is not the easiest thing. I have been told that I'm very stubborn, so like I know that
Yeah.
that is something that I have to struggle with, but I feel that it's something I can do um,
Good.
and that I am doing, but it's very slow
Yeah.
in that way, kind of, sort of. So,
So I heard you mention maybe like boundaries as a way that you could start, kind of implementing this. What does that really look like for you in real time?
uh, I think it's easier said than done.
Yeah, it is.
um, so, like, boundaries is more. So, for example, like yesterday, I had clients back to back all day.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't have to be to work till noon today, and it was my late day.
Mhm.
So I didn't get all my notes done yesterday. And my old job, I had like 24 hours to get the notes done. This one I have like 4 days to get them done.
Mhm.
And knowing that like my type A personality yesterday, when I'm like, oh, I'll do my notes at home and it'll be fine. Um, I've set that clear like work home boundary of not bringing work home as much, and trying to really focus on being more present, which is something that I wanted to do, in going into this position, and um, being there for my kid and my wife, which is great. So that's been a I've been of a boundary that I've been putting into place and trying to stay focused on.
So I hear that you are, by setting a boundary against yourself with your work, you're also not only doing something from yourself, but last week and a little bit this week, we kind of talked about the guilt of how this job has kind of affected your family, and that seems to be helping you.
I believe so. I think it's helped me a lot, in the short bit of time of like realizing things and going forward. So
Mhm.
I think so.
Yeah. What do you think another way that, you can continue to move forward with, coping and feeling good about yourself and mediating that guilt would be?
Probably taking some time for myself. Um, finding, I don't want to say like finding a hobby, but like taking back up like running again and doing something like that. So, or like walking the dog and taking that time to myself. So, prioritizing me a little bit more, I think.
Okay. So those are great examples. How realistic is that for you? Where do you think you could fit that into your schedule?
So, dropping my kid off on, so he's got school at 8:30 is drop off, and like Tuesdays I don't have to work until noon, so I technically could take the time on Tuesdays and you know work or walk the dogs or go for a run. So I mean, it's possible. It's just doing it.
Yes.
Following through is not the easiest.
Right. So let me ask you this. When we talk about, setting the boundaries and how that helps with, kind of not only your personal self, but your guilt with your family, where are you at when you think about really like kind of like those walks and stuff and those things that are going to be just solo for you? Where is your head at when you think about your guilt with your family? Does that help you? Does that make the feeling worse? Where are you at with that?
um I really haven't thought of that as much. um That's a good question. I really haven't thought of where that guilt would lie. I think knowing that they're at school and at work, that the guilt would probably be as less because it's on my time where there's no one, um, versus like coming home after work while they're here and then going and taking that time. So it's probably got to be on a day where like they're not here.
Okay. Yeah. So then you don't feel like that's like a time period where you could be giving them attention, and then that guilt and that shame is a little easier just to say, okay, this is Zach's time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Well, I think that this is a really good place to kind of wrap things up and start thinking about next week, where we can really start, kind of drawing in on these desires that you have and maybe putting some of these ideas that you have further into place. It does sound like you've already started to work on the boundary one, and that's really, really great. So maybe we can start moving forward on some of these ideas of self-care that you have that are just for Zach.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, perfect. Well, take some time to think about that. And just like last week, remember that these sessions are supposed to be helpful and not harmful. So anything that I ask you to think about, please, when you can, but don't make it a stressful thing. And other than that, I will see you next time.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.